Now, in atomic timing, I made reference yesterday in my natural state of just the day comes at me, I don't know what I'm walking into. I mentioned Zen and the band. It was a British band, but they played it in America on the radio in the 1990s called Bush, Bush, around the same time, I think. Maybe it was around the same time of the president that was also likely named the same. At the time, I really didn't put reference together, although I think that might have been Clinton by then. I'm not quite sure on that specific, because again, I wasn't following United States presidential, really anything. It was whatever the school that held me during the day. It was whatever they were presenting or professing that became what we were engaged within. I mean, it was nothing really of significance or relevance. It hasn't done me any good in the after, school life. Didn't help me get to the husband that I needed or the marriage that I needed. It just wasted my entire youth on holding me in one place. So I mentioned Zen yesterday. I don't really hear it much on this televised whatever. Drew Barrymore, who has played several characters in movies I can't remember. She's been mentioning them over the last few weeks. I've caught bits and pieces again. I don't sit religiously and watch any particular whatever. But she was mentioning that she was in something called E.T., extraterrestrial, so E.T. She was in something called Scream, I've never seen. I think she mentioned some other. I saw her. I think she's the one who was in 50 First Dates, which is like a really sad truth of what Sharptooth and I go through in depending on where the timing piece and the ecological is as I walk into it. It's part of the time, I don't know if do you call it wrinkle in time? It's part of the ecological problem that we're supposed to be working on, but it doesn't feel like anything is ever getting accomplished because of all this human stuff.
For you today, from fashion to food, relationships, everybody's dealing with one, to remodeling. We're answering all of your...
See, the Fed children, they do the rah rah cheerlead USA, USA, right? The ones that have been beaten, abused, drugged, hunted, raped, and left totally apart from everything else. We're just shooting it dead straight between the eyes. Here's where I'm at, and I don't really have much rah rah great stuff and compliments to the creator on how my life evolved out.
Burning questions and dishing out all the tips and tricks with some help of the top experts in their field. I love controlling, I love being a part of, but right now I want to turn it all over to the Drew crew and learn from them. I know! I'm so excited for this show. It's our Drew's crew to the rescue hour!
That's is that a spoof on Blue's Clues? Just curious. Drew's Clues. There used to be a show, there used to be a book series. I don't think I read it. It was Nancy Drew, and then the boys had the Hardy Boys. Like the boys had their version of the book, girls had their version of the book. I read a different series completely, which no longer actually exists. I went to the library to search for it, and it's somebody's bought it over and re-illustrated it, and now the series is no longer the same as when I read it.
Is where I come to learn as well. Are you all ready? Yeah. I'm so ready for this. All right, let's get started with my design partner. He's designed for Oprah and Michelle Obama. You know, it's Nicole Welch.
Never heard of this person ever.
Hey, friend. With that announcement of Drew's Square, like a cape or something, like superheroes.
You are a superhero, Mikkel. You totally are. I think changing a space can change your life. I really do.
I agree.
I want to get to a...
But now this is weird, because the man's calling himself Welsh. Again, these are really dangerous, self-assigned labels that cause massive communication problems.
To a question, and it's a letter, actually, from someone in our audience. I love snail mail.
I know, right?
I do. Hi, Drew. I need some design advice from my friend. She's one of the most thoughtful and generous people I know. Betty has owned an Irish dance studio in New York for over 15 years.
You could actually have a Welsh person give them the alias Welsh, have them speak on their own behalf with a royal decree that backs them as an insurance policy. There's no need to have some false narrative in some dangerous operation that confuses people.
And she always puts the studio first without making a big show of it, helping students who can't afford classes or even paying for their dance costumes and shoes out of her own pocket. Betty is currently working out of her basement on a makeshift desk because she had to close the studio during the pandemic. During Hurricane Ida, everything in the basement got destroyed.
Yeah.
Can you please help Betty transform her basement into a functional, comfortable space to work so she can keep on doing what she does best, helping young dancers fulfill their dreams sincerely. I'm like, sinceriously.
I know, right?
It's a new word.
Break out the tissues.
Elise. Okay. Elise and Betty are actually in our audience today. Yes, there's multiple surprises. Betty, come on down here, please. Oh my gosh. Hi, Betty. Hi. And you may take your mask off. Thank you so much, Betty.
Thank you. I'm gonna kill you.
You know what, Betty? Get a little closer to me.
Okay.
Because you and I got a lot to talk about in
Okay,
just
wait
a
a
second.
Mikkel, you have created something.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to see what you have done.
Oh, well, I hope it lives
That
up to
was
your
a very,
expectations. I'm a
like,
little
hot
nervous.
topic
No,
somewhere,
Betty,
that
you
little
good.
verse
That's
the
why
woman
we are all
said.
here to
I
learn
mean,
from you.
Okay. Are you ready?
in certain circles.
So this is what it was.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
I live that right
Yeah.
now. Yes. Okay.
Mikkel, all you take it
All
away.
right. You ready, Betty? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, people, let's do it.
I mean, it comes down in certain circles. Was that a threat? Because I didn't interpret it as a threat. That was just her jovial, all-American that they use when nobody thinks of what they say before they speak.
Take a look at your new face. Make a look. Come on in.
Okay.
A little bit different, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Betty, why don't you go behind the desk?
Thanks. Okay.
Oh, please sit. Enjoy.
Oh, and look, green.
Now, I have to say, in my design preference, I think this is one of the ugliest spaces that they've designed. However, that's personal preference and an opinion. However, it does have significance in its ugliness because they're describing words of texture, contrast, and whatever. They built a faux space. This is a set, S-E-T. It's like a movie set. It's like what I talk about here. This is just a room. It happens to be a permanent structure that I am sheltering in, but this is a dimension that was built for this woman to match her actual unit that she shelters in some other area.
Green chair, nice touch.
Oh, did you feel the fabric? It's velvet, honey. Yes.
Only the best for.
It's velvet.
Oh, Mikkel, this is so zen.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what?
Now that's interesting. She uses the key up word zen on public airwave. Is it really? I mean, I do see 8 boxes back here, or 8 picture frames. I do see some herringbone type mismatched pattern. This one happens to be in a V.
What? So here's the thing. First, you have so much store.
There's signs and remnants of a Zen. It's just not a proper visual interpretation of what Zen actually means or is.
Storage.
I like that.
With all of these closed doors, now you can store, and store. And look at all the beautiful hardware.
And
on the
again,
doors,
I
like
have
that.
ink.
And it's soft close, honey. Do that one more time. It's soft close. Yeah, soft close.
Mikkel, these are incredible. This has a lot of great drawers. It's tall enough so it feels substantial, but still leaves.
And here's my other thing. I'm just curious at this construct of Lincoln's dilemma, this word espionage, this traveling on air flight from multiple destinations and then having multiple residencies that I'm not afforded that level of luxury. I haven't been introduced into that echelon. I've been withheld. I'm in captivity at this point by humans who are misbehaving. So when we're talking unrest in the American colonies, I'm just curious if one was to build an English safety, national security construct of words in just one language, with one script or characteristics, with one set of images. How is that project ever going to be successful with multiple nations having whatever, nobody specials, able to view by teleportation and learn in some easy to digest format on this television? It kind of is counterintelligence or counterintuitive, and it increases the speed and agility of the dangerous partners around the world. So I'm just curious, when you want to have these crazy ideas as humans and stick all different ancestry in a set that's built for teaching purposes and addressing issues and allowable vernacular mixed in with an allowable setting for whatever, in whatever. It makes it more dangerous and more difficult when all of these pieces that are partaking in it through finance, through construction, through set design, all the way through to production, and then the introduction into the public. The public's mixture and couch potato and the availability of public to receive the message and who's receiving the message, it matters. Because it matters on a grander scale. And who's sending the messages and who's claiming credit or who's perpetuating the message. It matters. The sender matters, and the couch potato receiver matters. So that's why it's just really confusing why there is so much confusion from messages sent or sending and the receivership. And then the day-to-day actions and motions. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Again, it feels like there's been such an enhancement and educational investment in all the wrong areas to divide and diversify, and now causes a really strong class of overeducated in all the wrong areas, and a very disengaged, unassuming, unacknowledged, uneducated class of needs some stuff, some voice, some whatever. I don't know why they would take humanity into this direction. This does not seem like the smartest option. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Ecologically, I have a pen. Ecologically, I don't know what to call this. I've been trying to EO and pencil me in, right? Like, could you pencil me in with your permanent marker? Because I'd like to be where I was designed for and not have to endure the ink and the ecological hazards, since nobody seems to have cared about my voice from the get-go, except the one with the Sharpie trying to pencil me in. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.